Okay.
It's just easier to talk without a mask. I apologize. So that's two more. Maybe one more. Okay.
I'm going to come a little closer so we pick up the audio for sure.
All right. We're here today to pay Kavod Achron, last respects to a wonderful woman, which we'll talk about her soon, Carol K. Goldstein, a woman that lived her life to its fullest, although she only lived 66 years and 10 months. But she lived a life that every day had 24 hours. Every hour had 60 minutes, and every minute had 60 seconds. She accomplished way more than people that live 150, if they're still living 150. And she was a real, true balas chesed. She did kindness, and we'll talk about her soon. So first I want to thank everybody for coming out on such a short notice. And we did order a little cooler weather. I don't have Amazon Prime, so it's going to come like at tomorrow, I guess. It'll be a little late, but it's going to come. We'll start the service. We say traditionally we start with 3 Psalms: Psalm 1, Psalm 15, and Psalm 23. Ashrei ha'ish asher lo halach ba'atzas rishoyim u'v'derech hatoyim lo yomod u'v'moshav leitzim lo yashav ki im b'seres adonai cheptzoi u'b'seroso yehege yomam v'loila v'hoya ke'ech sasul apal gemoyim asher piryo yiten bi'itoi v'aleho lo yibar v'chol asher yaseh yatzliach l'chein harishoyim ki im kamois asher titfenu ruach al kein lo yukumu rishoyim b'mishpat v'chatoyim ba'adas tzadikim ki yodei adonai derech tzadikim v'derech rishoyim toveit. Mizmor leDavid Adonai mi yagur ba'olecha o mi yishkan b'har kodshecha hoylech tamim u'foyal tzedek v'dever emes b'lvavai lo yirogal al lishoynoi v'lo yasa l're'eu ra v'cherpa l'nasa al krevai nivza be'ein of nimas v'eshira Adonai yichabed nishba lo hore lo yomer chaspoi lo nasam b'neshech v'sheichat al noki lo lokach oisa eila lo yimid lo olam. A song of David, the Lord, who may sojourn in your tent, who may dwell in your holy mountain, one who walks in purity, does what is righteous, and speaks the truth from the heart, who has no slander on the tongue, nor has done harm to a fellow, nor cast disgrace towards a neighbor, in whose eyes a contemptible person is repulsive, but who honors those who are in awe of the Lord, who swears truthfully even to personal hurt, and never retracts, who does not lend money on interest, nor takes a bribe against the innocent. One who does these things shall never falter. And Psalm 23. Mizmor leDavid Adonai roi ay da 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 lo yechsor v'nois deshe yarbitzeini da 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 amei menuchas yinaleini nafshi shoyvev yancheini b'maglei tzedek ay 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 hoy leman shemoy gam ki yelech b'geit salmoves lo yiroro ki ato imodi shiftecho mishantecho heimo yinachamuni Tarech lefonai shulchan neged soireroi di shanto b'Hashem en roishi koi sirevoyo ach toiv v'chesed yirdefuni kol yimei chayoi v'shavti b'beis Adonai li'oirech yomim. And for a woman, especially a woman like Carol, it's appropriate to recite some verses from the book of Proverbs known as Eishes Chayil, the woman of valor. Eishes chayil miyimsa v'rochav mipnei michra botach bo lev balo v'shala lo yachzor. Kim la'asu tov lo yiro kol yimei chayah Dorshet semeru fishtin v'tas v'chefetz kapeha. Hoise ka'aniya seicher v'merchek tovi lachmo v'atokam bo yedlaylo v'atitin teref leveso v'choyklan ariseo. Zoma soda v'tikacheyo mipri chapeha noten chorem chogro bo ismasnel v'ta'amet royeseo. Ta'amoki tov sachro lo yichbo v'laylo neiro yodeho shilchon bakisho v'chapeha tom kolfolach. Kapo porselioni v'yodeho shilchon le'evyoin lo yisiro levesim yisholek ki choveso lo v'shonim. Marvadim osaso lo sheish v'agomen levusha. Leide basharim ba'alo b'shiftoim zikni oretz. Sodn osa v'timkor v'chagor nos laknani oiz v'hodol levusha v'tischak liyam akaroin pia poska v'chochmo teres chesed al l'shoina tzei fi alichis beisa v'lechem asos lo yisoichel chomu v'neo v'yashrua ba'alo v'yahalalo Rabbeis bonos osachoyel v'atalis al kolono sheker hachein v'hevel ha'yefi isha yiras adinoi itisalol tnu lo mipri yodeo v'yahalua b'sharim ma'aseo. Today, I'd like to share with you some memories that I've learned from Ronald, her husband, who has taught me. We talked for many, quite some time, telling me a little bit about Carol, how great of a person she was, and I think it's appropriate that everybody who's here should, at least you'll appreciate that you were able to help escort her to the next world, as knowing a little bit about her. She's a young woman. She was 66 years old. She grew up in Akron, Ohio. Her father was Donald and her mother was Phyllis Kitzmiller. Those from Akron remember her as they had the kosher butcher or the kosher delicatessen. And for many years, everybody went there. Now, in 2004, October 26, 2004, she got married to Ronald. And he told me she was a very giving person. She would always put her own needs aside and always worry about others. Never complained. She had terrible back pain. Put that aside, you know, unfortunately, in the last year and a half, she needed a lot of help as they went to Texas to get treatment, and when they got better, they went to Florida, where their apartment or their condo in Florida everything was on one floor, and unfortunately, things got a little worse and worse. And at the point when COVID began, they were afraid of continuing her treatment because God forbid if she gets COVID, she won't be able to fight it. So they stopped the treatment because she was doing so great. And unfortunately, the cancer came back and she passed away. She always worried about her family. She took great care of her grandmother when her grandmother was here. Her mother, her brother, she always took care of others. She was a very accomplished woman. She worked for many years at AT&T, and they assigned her on all of the great, the big accounts. Anything over $100,000 was her to take care of. She owned a hearing aid business. Anyone can hear me? She owned a hearing aid business. She had 12 locations. And she became a pilot. She was a commercial pilot for private planes, where she met a lot of people, and that's something she enjoyed a lot. She was, together with her husband, they went on a cruise, and her husband went ill on the way, and she was willing to do anything. She went over to him and said, "You just tell me what you need, I'm here for you." Where she got him off the boat, got him to a hospital in Hong Kong, and it turns out to be that the doctor was a Jewish doctor. He said, "What are the chances that the doctor be Jew?" The guy walks in, he says, "Landsman." And he was going on, and there's so many stories, so many great memories of this wonderful woman. Unfortunately, today we're here to say goodbye to her, but I want to leave over the message to all of us who are here, especially to Ronald, who's going to be watching this. According to our faith, a person, we should understand the number one thing that causes death, as a recent study, is 2015, it came out that the number one thing that causes death is being born. Did you know that? Well, 99.99 people who are gonna be born are gonna die. There's a slight chance of people that won't admit it. And we all have a purpose in this world. Some of us are given 80, 90 years to accomplish our purpose. Some of us, unfortunately, are given 20 years, 10 years. And Carol was given 66 years to accomplish her mission. She took care of everything that she needed to take care of in this world. She made a great impact in this world. She leaves over great memories, and there's so many things that we can do to emulate her, just learning a little bit about her, and besides just following in her ways, doing things in her memory. According to Jewish tradition, the Yortzeit, the anniversary of somebody's passing, is a day of celebration. Although it's a sad day, another year has come, another year has passed, but in a way, from a spiritual aspect, the person's soul gets, so to say, judged, like it's a Rosh Hashanah, and to see how much have they grown since last year. And her growth until she passed away was all depending on all her good deeds. But now that she's no longer with us in a physical aspect, we can do things for her. And every time we do something in her memory, her soul gets elevated, gets higher and higher. So the ironic thing is, on a day that you would think is a sad day, the anniversary of somebody's passing, how do we commemorate it? You bring a bottle of schnapps, traditionally bourbon. For those who unfortunately can't do it, they have to use scotch. No, Hashem will forgive you. But you bring a bottle of schnapps, or the old-fashioned way was Slivovitz, and some cookies, fresh. Day old is not accepted. And you bring it to the shul, and everybody makes a l'chaim, and they say, may the neshama have an aliyah, may the neshama have an elevation. And that all depends on how much we have done. So I leave over a message to all her loved ones and all of us who are here. There's so much that we can do to emulate her, and there's so much we can do in her memory to continue her legacy. Small things that we do, put a smile on somebody's face, give charity. Her husband Ronald misses her very much. He says he's so lonely, how he can't believe on how he never believed that this day will come. Ronald has 3 sons, Brian, Brandon, who is here, and Jeremy, who are all going to be mourning her loss. They know how dear she was to them and to her father, to their father. And she has a lot of friends. Unfortunately, not everybody's able to come. She has a mother-in-law living here in town, but is older, and it would be too difficult to come out. So we all want to, besides that, I want to thank everybody for coming out. We also traditionally like to ask forgiveness from somebody who has passed away. We ask you, Carol, if somebody wronged you, if we didn't treat you properly, please forgive them. And we all ask everybody else if they could forgive her. Nobody should hold any grudges against her. We're all human beings. It's not possible for a human being to be 100% perfect. And even if you are perfect, there's always somebody out there that says you're not perfect. The only one who thinks that you're perfect is your mother. And my mother is not that way. All right. What we're going to do is we're going to lower the casket. Then we're all going to participate. After they put the vault, we're going to participate. We'll say the memorial prayer and then the Kaddish. Can I put a drop in the bottom?
Yeah. Sure, whatever.
And then I want to put a little bit on top. this point, we'll do the mitzvah of kavura, of burying, and traditionally we don't pass the shovel one to another. Well, anyone who wants to participate, we'll try to do this, and I know the weather's getting a little hot, so we have a couple shovels if anyone wants to come and help, and then we'll say the memorial prayer and Kaddish.
I think I'm going to ship that. We're going to ship that out today to the husband. Yeah.
כי לך אנחנו מסתיפת אדונים בן שוניה אוי אלף שונים יחיה מה ישון לו כלוי אוי אוי ברוך תיינו אמס ממסמכה יברוכו כי אמס דינוי משוי תיתה